The only show on this Football Monday that will have reality. Oh, my God. Hey, by the way, thank God most people in Philadelphia don't listen to some of the shows that are on nationally, because I think more people had an issue on how the game was played against Atlanta than the actual win yesterday versus New Orleans. More people were dumping on the Eagles today than they did after the Atlanta game. But as always, we start this program off with Big Silz, powered by our friends at BetUS. Please make sure you check out the website. Absolutely. And by the way, we will have truth, justice, in the Big Silz way. You know, I got to tell you, man, right out of the gate here, 18-15, it is a big win. It's a NFC conference win. You may end up running into these dudes later in the year. Superdome is a loud and very tough place to play. They gutted that out in spite of the quarterback not playing well. Defense was sensational. But again, this reminds me of the 2023 season when you guys were once again posting 10-1. Let's wait and see how this plays out. 3-game sample size, pretty up and down. And it is a great win. Yes, William, it is. Nick Sirianni's game decisions and in-game decisions, he is by far the worst head football coach in the National Football League. There's no getting around it. His desire to want to be the head coach of this team is totally getting in they win in spite of him. That team wins in spite of him. I don't give a shit what anyone says. They win in spite of him. That's how poor a coach he is. He is a fucking terrible coach with terrible indecision. I mean, 4th and 1. Bro, you lost half your fucking offensive line. And you're making dumbass decisions and aggressive decisions? Doug Peterson was an aggressive coach. This guy wings it. He wings it. Dude, they win in spite of him. Hey, personally, I don't think the quarterback's playing great ball. Let me give you a number here. And this is all courtesy of the Colin Cowherd Show. They posted a statistic up about Jalen Hurts here. Since Shane Steichen. There it is. Since Shane Steichen, 231 quarterback passer per yards per game. 26 touchdowns, 19 picks. 88 quarterback rating. 26 turnovers, which leads the league since Steichen left. He's a turnover machine. He is an absolute turnover machine. And you know what? It's not trended out or trending in a different direction. He is a turnover machine. And that'll catch championship moments for you. Until that quarterback stops that shit, your football team will never win a significant ball game that matters. Championship quarterbacks don't turn the ball over like this. It just doesn't. We'll get more into it. It reminds me of the 23 team. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. We're going to do the takeaways here. We will have our game balls. We'll go by the numbers. Jalen Hurts has been pathetic. He has the same numbers as Daniel Jones pretty much after the first 3 games. It's not an elite quarterback. So let's get to our takeaways. $18-12. Okay? You don't get style points in the NFL, so it's okay. Doesn't matter. Hey, guys, who was in here a year ago and you see all these people posting these winning records. Remember when they were doing 10-1? How imbecile they ended up looking at the end of the year? You guys were imbeciles. Dallas has the worst defense, and the worst defense than the Eagles do. Can't stop the run. We said it from day one. Jalen won without AJ, like you asked, Lane and Smitty. Jalen Hurts didn't win that game. The players around him won that game, and we're going to get to it. I'm going to give my takeaways, and then we'll look at what you say, and we'll read all your comments. Okay? Jalen Carter was textbook dominant versus the Saints. Played with an energy. He was absolutely amazing in that football game. Textbook. Wiping off offensive linemen. They couldn't control him. Everything he did inside. And the technique work was completely different than the first two ball games. For whatever reason, maybe Vic Fangio was right when it came to giving the technique. Okay, because he was textbook in that game and textbook dominant. He played with an energy level and to the hype that I gave him that I think he could be the next Jerome Brown. Dallas Goedert saved the game. That crossing route was absolutely awesome for Dallas Goedert. He had to step up. We said, if you remember correctly, especially in the pregame show that you guys joined us on Sunday, we said that Goedert and Barkley had to be a factor in that game, and they sure were. Dallas Goedert, 10 catches, 170, a 61-yarder down the sideline. He was what everyone knows he can be. The big question will be, will he be able to keep this up consistently, week in and week out? But he was sensational. Did a great job against the secondary. I mean, he absolutely fabulous game. His best game in 2 years. Zach Bond. If you told me one bad game, two really good ball games, you take that average any day. Absolutely awesome. You know what was key? What do you think was key with Zach Bond in this game? You know the key component was? Whether it was a 52, a 61, or whether it was 34 or 43, the versatility that he showed was exceptional, and that he was a versatile guy that he could play. Mahomes has the same INTs as Jalen. I get it. He did improve after those turnovers. He stepped up in the pocket and delivered the ball to receivers. Don't ever compare Jalen Hurts to Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes can throw his team out of trouble and win Super Bowls. Okay? You don't compare anybody in the league to that guy. You don't. That guy can turn the ball over, and he's still going to win Super Bowls. There's the difference. And that goes for any quarterback in the league. Nobody can be compared to that guy. Don't ever compare a quarterback in the National Football League to Mahomes. He could actually have more interceptions in a regular season than touchdown passes. You get him in a Super Bowl, he's going to beat you. So comparing Jalen Hurts to Patrick Mahomes is asinine. Jalen won that game. Not by himself, but he led him. Well, I disagree. Okay? You can have all the fan waving you want. I don't think he's playing very good football. I think he's playing exceptional football with his legs. Okay? I do. But Silz swears up and down not to compare Hurts to garbage quarterbacks, but when we do, Mahomes is you're comparing INTs. You're comparing him to Mahomes because he's got the same numbers? You're a fucking idiot, Silz. You do it every day. Hey, Prince, fuck you too. That's the key with Zach Bond. Zach Bond was used in multiple fronts. Okay? That's the key to this whole thing, is that he's in multiple fronts, which is insane. players won the game in spite of Sirianni. I'll buy that one, Daniel, for sure. Okay? Vic Fangio did a great job. He outcoached Clint Kubiak. It wasn't close. He just absolutely cleaned his clock. Was absolutely awesome there, man. Here's the other guy, Barkley, third straight game. Saquon Barkley was sensational. That 60-plus yard run he had, the vision he has. Jesus, man. I mean, tell me he does not remind you of Shady McCoy in the way he plays. He's just spectacular. I mean, boy, some of you were saying that this guy here, hey, Silz, this is a really great sign. Boy, it's been so far. Jalen Hurts won the game with 4 starting players out. Mahomes never had 2 starting linemen and Kelsey being out. Jalen Hurts and the team stepped up for Smitty. Whatever. Here, injuries. Lane, concussion. Smitty, concussion. Becton, arm injury. Here's my assessment. Again, a little bit of Hurts here. Gutted it out, for sure. Has issues still protecting the ball. Hey, dude, his pocket presence and his pocket pressure, I don't know. It's kind of regressed. Without a doubt. He had a moment in the game, late in the game, and they won that football game, and they gutted it out. They really did. Their defense was sensational. The stars of the game were Barkley, Goddard, and the defense. Up and down play calling a little bit with Kellen Moore. By the way, I thought that hit on Devontae Smith was a cheap shot. It looked to me like a high-low. I thought that was a high-low. What I mean by that is the guy on the bottom holds him up where the other guy comes in and cleans his clock. I personally thought that was a cheap shot. And I'm very shocked that the referees in that ball game did not call that. I thought it was a cheap shot. Okay? I mean, when I went back and kept watching it, it just looked like it was intentional. Okay? It looked like it was intentional. And it was, I thought it was helmet to helmet myself. A small Dotson sighting. I thought he showed up in that 60-yard scamper down the sidelines by Goddard. But other than that, I think it was 3 catches in the ball game, maybe 2 catches. I don't remember. I know that Hurts gave him some love. Allen had Jalen's stat line. You'd be on all fours. No, when you have Dallas Goedert and you have Devontae Smith and you have Saquon Barkley and you have an offensive line that's considered one of the top lines, you're supposed to win. Granted, these guys went out, but Allen enters the game without those guys. Boy, Silz, I would really prefer my quarterback not to hand the ball to the opponent. I know he's a character guy, but I need him to act. He gives a damn. I'm not understanding, Brian, what that reference is. Okay, give me a little bit more and I'll post it, what you're saying there, because you're talking about like the fumble, which was totally on him. The interception, they can make all the excuses. You know what's crazy? Look at all the excuses these people are making every week for the quarterback having a turnover. It's every fucking week. Oh, it's Smitty's fault. It's the play call. You got to use a better receiver and more of a big body guy. I mean, you have 26 turnovers since Steichen left. It's all added up. Xander, I missed Nick's super chat. By the way, all super chats go to the top. We appreciate you guys doing that. Please, by the way, hit the like list. I missed Nick's super chat. If you can, there we go. Is Barkley better than you thought he'd be for us? Yes. 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 Jordan Davis, sack, big game. Yes. Josh Sweat, 4 pressures. Good. Bryce Huff is a bust. He's horrible. I mean, they don't even, you know why they probably played better on defense? They didn't put his ass out there. They didn't put his ass out there. Hurts finally landed on Dallas Goedert. Dude spit on Smitty, crazy after. Hey, G-Fish, bullshit. Bullshit stuff. In my opinion, I thought that I absolutely thought it was a cheap shot on Devontae Smith. Tough guy, man. I got a lot of respect for him. Milton Williams is earning himself some money. Sirianni's trying to find a way to give ball games away. He's absolutely pathetic. I mean, he's pathetic as a coach, in-game decision maker. Just pathetic. He's worse than Rich Kotite. He's just terrible. It's unbelievable watching that guy try to make a decision. Every decision that guy makes is wrong. Trade Micah for Huff. Yeah, I'm sure the Cowboys would do that. Come on, Abe. Come on, Abe. I said it. The hit on Devontae I thought was targeting. They gritted out and toughed out a win, which will benefit them later. How about this, man? Fred Johnson and Tyler Steen, excellent job. I mean, what was one of the key factors in that ball game is that New Orleans couldn't get pressure on the quarterback. And that comes down to guys stepping up. You know, one of the things that I really enjoyed listening was hearing some of the people say, no matter if you're a first, second, or third team guy with Jeff Stoughton, he coaches you like you're a first team guy. You know how many coaches don't do that? Give JC his love. He was a game wrecker yesterday. Absolutely. Played as good a football as I've seen him play, maybe one of his absolutely best games. Remember something, though, folks. As everyone says, the NFL is a week in and week out proposition here. Can you keep that level up against the Buccaneers? You have not put back-to-back games together yet. So let's see it. Then you start going like this with trends. Okay? Reed Blankenship. You know, I know that on the post-game show, Bo Zander and John McMullen gave him credit. He should. Okay? He's one of those guys that's a tough replace. He's not the greatest player. He's not the worst by far. He's a solid week in and week out player, man. I mean, you know, you need to have a whole roster filled of those dudes. So give him credit. I mean, he really played well. Let's go by the numbers here now. Then we'll do game balls. For the third consecutive game here, while I agree with you, Silz, I'm over excuses for Jalen's turnovers. I will say he doesn't allow them to defeat him. True. He keeps fighting throughout the game. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Yes. At this point, I'd rather have White or Hunt on the edge over Huff. It's a great, and I appreciate that. Thank you. Clairvoyant, Nick is pathetic. His want to show he's the coach is hindering common sense. Amen. Kick the field goal. If fourth down works with analytics, he will get away with it. Absolutely, because you took the points. Absolutely true. How would you coach Jalen on seeing the field better? Move him more. Move him around more. By the way, do you guys remember, hey, Nick, was it you? Q leads the league with forced interceptions. I love it. Who asked me the question? Last Friday? Silz, How in the world do you fix a run defense? Was that you, Nick, that asked me that? Hey, Bob, was it you? Who asked me that last week? Silz, how would you fix the run defense? Remember what I said? Outnumber them. Put a 5 front up. Outnumber them. And that's exactly what they did. They outnumbered them. Anthony, you asked me that? Remember I said, hey, outnumber them. They did. They put the 5 front in and stopped the run. That's exactly what went down. He schematically stopped the run. That's a Vic Fangio move that helped. Plus, Zach Bond playing better. Absolutely. Do you think Nick is doing this on purpose to get himself fired? Danelle, no, absolutely not. Why in the world would you not want to have an $8 million a year job and the coaching record that you do have? Thank you, Anthony. Let's see here. Guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like button here. First downs. Eagles win it 2015. Third down efficiency. Not bad. 6 of 14. Saints 6 of 13. Good job. Here's once again the third straight game in a row that you know you're doing something right. You're holding opponents under 60 plays. 55 plays to 67. Eagles had 460 yards in total offense. And you held the Saints to 219, which is an absolutely insane number in today's National Football League. Jalen Hurts deserves criticism for his turnovers. Some more excuses, but you have to give same energy for him for always finding a way to win. Yes, David, you're right. You're right. But it's kind of a 50-50 thing. David, do you agree? Then it's kind of a 50-50 thing, right? You give him a backhanded slap and then you give him a kudos. You slap him and then you give him kudos. That's inconsistency, isn't it? Isn't that inconsistency? First I give him kudos, then I slap him. You're down 3 and get the ball after the half. You have one timeout with 14 seconds. Even if you get the first down, you'd have to call timeout and kick the field goal. No sense. Absolutely. Xander, I missed that super chat after, here it is right here. David. Jalen Hurts deserves criticism. No, yeah, we got him, I believe. Do you think Nick is doing this on purpose to get himself fired? Absolutely not. I do not. Jalen Hurts deserves criticism for his turnovers. No more excuses, but you have to give him, and you're right. You totally have to give him this kudos here. Okay? You do, David. Found a way to win in the end. Trade for Clowney. Get a SHU on speed dial to help. G-Fish, you're not off. Because I think you're going to need a little bit more help as the trading deadline comes around the corner, because I don't think you're deep enough at the edge rushers. Brandon Graham's playing really good ball. Brandon Graham is playing really good football. He's a good football player. Yes, sir. I'm wrong. I thought that was a stupid. I thought that was a stupid, absolutely stupid sign. I'm wrong. Okay? Hey, Xander, make sure we send Gary Cobb a link if you can, please. Gary's ready to go at 4:30 for us. Fox 29. Passing, 288, 130. Rushing, 172. Outstanding. To 89. Rushing attempts, 25-29. Turnovers, 2. Okay? Turnovers, 2. Starting BG over Huff help fix run game. Absolutely. Remember, we were petitioning for that Brandon Graham would start. Time of possession, 32-27. Not the greatest game, but you win. It's important. Okay? It's important. I want to give you some more context a little bit here on Hurts. Please do me a favor, guys. Please hit the like button. Do you know that Jalen Hurts has more sacks rolling to his right than he does completions this year? If I'm a defensive coordinator, I know this. Hurts' red zone turnovers have to stop. Turnover issues. 4 TDs and 5 turnovers so far this year. I mean, I see the same team as a year ago so far. 10-1, 2-1. I don't see any difference. Now, Xander brought a point up. Last year's losing and the way they lost, do you think they can identify it more? Not with that coach. You think Nick Sirianni's a better coach this year than he was a year ago? Let's ask that question. How many people in here believe that Nick Sirianni's a better coach this year than he was a year ago? Do you? Do you believe he's a better coach? Well, shit. He's affecting the game. He's affecting the game. He did everything in his power to lose the last 2 ball games. And get this, that'll cost you when it matters most. Remember what we're doing here, folks. Remember what we're doing here. If you believe you're a Super Bowl contender and you're this close, here. Nick, team killer. Guys, let me ask you this. If you think you're close, do decisions by Nick Sirianni matter? Yes or no? If you think you're that close, do you think that matters? We're not talking about you being Dallas miles away. Hey, and by the way, remember I told you the Dallas Cowboys won't win 5 games? That Dallas Cowboy team is a train wreck. It's a train wreck. Why do people consistently think we can just trade for whomever? I know, that's crazy. I know that, David. You're right. You're right. Wish our team we have to hope our players execute and make good decisions. David, just like you saw in the Saints game. Xander, I missed the super chat after David. If we could post that up. By the way, you guys are mauling it in the first hour here on Super Chats. Hey, Silz, I know Hurts has turnover issues, but his growth has been stalled due to many circumstances. And since he throws more chances of INTs, absolutely. The Philly, yes. Up and down coaching. I know it's only 1 game, but the way the defensive line was pushing back and in the backfield all game gave me some 2022 vibes. Bearded, you should feel that way. You should feel that way. Absolutely. Absolutely feel that way. No question. Here are my game balls. Jalen Carter was Jerome Brown. It was absolutely Jerome Brown. Textbook. How come in 22, Nick stayed in his lane? Because they were winning. Jalen Carter. Textbook. Hands inside. 3 technique, 2 technique, 1 technique. Wiping across. Controlling the player in front of him. There wasn't maybe 3 times in that game where I thought the offensive lineman had control of him. He was absolutely insane great. Insane great he was in how he played. Just spectacular. Spectacular. Dallas Goedert. For all the negative things people say about him, and rightfully so, not being involved in the game plan, never being somewhere to be seen. When they needed him, he was ready, and he answered the call, and he answered the bell. 10 catches, 170. That's Gronkowski and Travis Kelce kind of shit. He was just absolutely unguardable. The Saints had no answers for Dallas Goedert. The entire ball game, they had no answers for him. He is a tough cover when he is in space and he's part of the game plan. He threatens those hash marks in the seam. There's no defending him. He outruns most linebackers, got down the sideline. He's got a nose for the end zone. When that guy's playing like that, it's impossible to defend him. The center going down for New Orleans was a huge factor. It surely was. Absolutely gave him confidence. Absolutely. Hey, Silz, better Arnold movie, Commando or Kindergarten Cop? Commando. My third is Saquon Barkley. Wow. I mean, if you're John Mara right now, you want to kill yourself. Explain the Hurts 100 to Hurts 100 wins nonsense. No sense. Explain this Hurts 100 to Hurts 100 wins, no sense. I don't get it. What do you mean there? David, help me out there on that. You're John Mara. You want to kill yourself. I mean, fuck. I'm going to make an argument on Saquon Barkley here in a minute. I mean, it's insanity. Reed Blankenship gets a game ball. Darius Slay gets a game ball. Fred Johnson and Tyler Steen get a game ball. Who thought I'd say that? Those guys get game balls. Who thought I would say that? Josh Sweat gets a game ball. Thought he played well on the edge. What a crazy game. Glad I can finally catch the show live. Thank you, Terry. This is for you, Silz, for always keeping it real and honest. Thank you, Terry. Hey, Xander, before Terry, I missed a super. There you go. I'm starting to think Tanner McKee can run the O better than Jalen. Let's not get crazy there. Not that easy to run this offense. Barkley's the best back in the NFL. He's CMC 2.0. Nick, it may have been you or someone else. I took a shit on you when you said that. I'm going to make a point. You may not be wrong, Nick. Zach Bond. He also gets a game ball. Man. That defense just stepped up, did their job, played with energy. Notice last week in the Nick blamed more, but yesterday a mistake was on. Ooh, Anthony stirring. First time I've ever seen Anthony stir the pot. Anthony. Notice last week in the Nick blamed more. But yesterday, a mistake was on him. Win's a win, but Nick's decision-making will cost them games if not kept in line. Thank God for Barkley, best player. Hey, Anthony, I'll ask you one question. How much of Nick Sirianni's decisions do you think come from upstairs in the analytic guys? And he's coaching the team based on Julian Laurie's numbers. Anthony, or Alexander, I missed the super chat before Anthony. These things are coming quickly, and I appreciate it. I can't tell you. Credit to the defense. Wide receivers, no catches. Absolutely, Izzy. No question. Hurts 100 turnover, 100 win. Doesn't make any sense. No, it doesn't. INTs are up because the way defenses are being played. Fat Mac, not a lie. Not a lie. I want to show you guys something here. And by the way, I'm going to get to all your takes on what you saw and your takeaways. But I got to say this to you guys. And I was going to save this topic for a little later, but I'm going to do it now. I can't wait to ask Xander this one. How many people believe that Saquon Barkley in the early part of the season is the most valuable player in the NFL? He's currently on pace for 1,989 yards rushing, 55.6 yards a carry with 23 touchdowns, 57 catches, 300 yards. That would give him a total of 2,290 total yards. 5.6. He'd have 30 total touchdowns. Can you name me a better player right now who's gotten out of the gate in the first 3 weeks? Silz, I know it looks ugly with Hurts right now, and this is not an excuse, but how much do you contribute this to him having full autonomy now? Pre-snap. And you're saying that he's learning to go through all these responsibilities? Yes. Can it get better with more reps? Yes. 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 Is Barkley the most valuable player after 3 weeks? That's a trend. I think he is. Can you name me a better player right now in the league than Saquon Barkley? Sam Darnold? I mean, Saquon Barkley is on pace for 2,200 yards, almost 2,300 total yards, 30 touchdowns. Fuck. Are you insane? He'll be the first most valuable player if he gets and stays on that. But it is on pace for 357 in carries and 57 receptions. I mean, you're talking about a ton of volume of work here. Barkley's got to be playing the best football of his career right now. Absolutely. Hey, you may want to do this, and I have to be fair here. Listen to me here. This is going to make me want to kill myself. If Bryce Huff is a piece of shit sign and hire, the Barkley sign is worth it. He gets a pass. He gets a pass. Xander, I missed the super chat. Sorry about that, bud. They're going quick here. Please, guys, hit the like button. Silz, how about them Cowboys not looking good? Big Silz told you. Thank you guys so much for these super chats. Please hit the like button. Hey, Sam goes easy. You think being on pace for 2,300 total yards and 30 touchdowns at 5.6 a clip, you think he's not played the best football of anybody in the league? Here, let's just be candid and honest here. 3 games are a trend. Has he been the MVP in the league so far in the first 3 weeks? Yeah. The CMC couldn't win it last year. I don't think any non-quarterback will ever win it. If Barkley keeps it up, he deserves it. Well, how about this? He'll definitely clear out the Offensive Player of the Year award if he wins this. Wow. What a start to his Philadelphia Eagle career. And you want to hear something crazy? It sucks, but MVP quarterback award, Offensive Player of the Year, running back. It is, David. You're right. Let me show you something here. The Giants have Neighbors now who looks like he could be somebody. Don't you think Barkley could have helped that passing game out? And how about this to show you how decision-making is shitty? Caleb Williams stinks. Justin Fields is 3-0. Not that he's killing it, but at the end of the day, he's 3-0. And if you're going to give Hurts the credit for being 2-1, finding a way to win, that guy couldn't get out of his own way in Chicago. I mean, he couldn't get out of his own way. He's now winning games. I'm talking Fields. Kaladis was worried about that boat ride, but it's got a little sweeter after yesterday. I'll say this to you, man. Saquon Barkley has been everything. I mean, I don't know how you don't give him right now the first part of the year most valuable player award. I mean, he's the best player in the NFC. Okay. Angelo will be on later in the week. He promised that he'd come on. Silz, would you rather have Barkley or McCaffrey right now? Well, McCaffrey's injured, but who's the play caller? I would probably take McCaffrey because McCaffrey also did this when he was in Carolina. Okay? Because he was in Carolina and he did it. He wasn't just doing it in San Francisco. Ronald's right. Both of them. How about this? One thing is for sure, and you guys are right on this. You're right. Barkley's never played with this kind of talent in his career, and it is impacting him. Guys, we got over 1,100 people right now on all our platforms. Please hit the like button. You're killing it. I can't thank you enough for these super chats too. We're not even at the top of the hour. Can you tell us where we are right now in the likes? I'm glad we have a bye in week 5 because Barkley will need it more than anyone on the team. It'll help him later in the year because of the usage. Absolutely, Mac. No question. Give me an honest answer. Is Nick going to last the year? He's going to last the year because they're going to win in spite of him. They're going to win in spite of him. Hey, maybe we can get to 200 by the end of the program in the first hour. That'd be great. So let's hear your guys' takeaway. I'll read them all. And look, I'll give you my closing statement on it. One thing that I will give that kid, Jalen Hurts, a ton of credit on. He makes a shitload of mistakes, but you know what? He just makes his life harder on himself holding the ball with one hand, knowing that he's been turnover prone. You know you got to hold the ball with two hands down there in the red zone. That's a mental error. If you don't like a pass and you think that pass is not suited for Devontae, audible out of it, guy. You're not a slave to the play call. You're the quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles. Act like it. Audible out of it. If you think that play is not conducive to make a play, you can't turn around after the fact and blame the coaching and the design of the play for the interception. It's the quarterback's responsibility to also identify that. That's what being an elite quarterback is. Silz, we don't give out first quarter of the year awards. Calm down. Your inner Eagle fan is showing. We need you to keep us down to earth. At the end of the day, dude, I'm not saying he's going to win it. I said he's playing the best football of anybody in the NFL right now. Those are facts. I missed the super chat there too, Xander, if I can get that one. Please, guys, keep the super chats coming. You guys are great. I'm not saying he's going to win it. I'm saying he's playing the best football of anybody in the league right now. That's all. Just admit it now. Before it comes out, just like P. Diddy, Philly 500 is your legitimate son. Mark Collins. We're boys for sure. Okay? I don't know if he likes Pasta Vazul like I do. Hit that like button. So, look, he wins these games. He's a 60-minute guy, like John McMullen says. Boy, I'll tell you what, man, he makes that game harder on his offense with those turnovers. He's a turnover machine right now. That's got to be cleaned up if you're going to win an NFC title or a Super Bowl. Guys, stop thinking about just trying to win a bowl game or trying to get to the postseason. You got higher expectations. Act like it. Act like it. Don't act like a team that, you know the people that post those 2-1 records or 10-1? You look like a child. You know why? That's not what it's about. What it's about is winning a Super Bowl. Because at the end of the day, no one cares what your record is. They don't put the record of the team on the Super Bowl. They don't put the record of the team on the Super Bowl unless you're undefeated. Okay, that's not what they do. Barkley might, this would be crazy here. Hence says Barkley might touch the rock over 400 times out of 1,200 offensive plays this year and pass block as well. Why is he getting a pass? Why is he getting paid less than the receivers? He's been the main reason we got two wins, 2-1. Makes it harder on defenses all year too. I don't think Jalen Hurts makes it harder with 26 turnovers since Sage Dykins left. How's that harder on him? Makes it easier on him. How about that defense, though? Ed Reed Blankenship. There you go. Let's get our good friend here, Bob Silz. Nick is a barnacle on the hull in a league built on parity. You can't have a drag like that on your team. Everything needs to hit or this won't work. Nick needs to be scraped off. He's terrible. He is an absolute cancer in that locker room that they have not cut out. The Eagles have a guy in there that tries to still hey, I know why 2023 imploded. You know why it's not imploding now early? Because of Vic and Kellen around him. That's why it's not imploding. You got quality coaches and assistant coaches around him. Last year you had guys he could push around. Okay? This year he can't. You're not gonna supersede. He superseded Kellen, though. I couldn't believe when I heard him say, I took accountability for that 4th and 1. That was mine. Why are you calling plays, Nick? What is the deal with that? Either Nick Sirianni's calling plays or Kellen Moore's calling plays. Remember I said, Nick, remember Xander, one of the things that I said, Nick's got to stay out of the way. There's a prime example of him not staying out of the way. You could tell John McMullen that. He admitted getting in the way. But because he took ownership of it, they won. That's the only reason I think he took ownership of it. I meant harder on our defense, Silz. Right. Okay, Bearded. I mean, it's going to cost you. He's absolutely going to cost you. We're going to listen, or we're going to go over what Nick and Jalen said after the ball game here too. But I want to read some of your takes. The win was on Dallas, Saquon, and the defense, but Jalen has to play better. With turnovers in the offense, has to be better with situational play calling. And situational analytics too, Samuel. They're pathetic on their analytics. John McMullen defends Nick Sirianni. How? You know how? His record. They win in spite of him. They win in spite of him. Hey, by the way, real quick, do you guys remember what I said that this was going to be a bumpy start for Jalen Hurts? Hey, you know what? Xander, I think I have to go back, and I think what I have to do is make sure that I get this right for you guys, and it lands right for you. I said before the season started that Jalen was going to have a bumpy ride in the first part as he had all these new responsibilities, and it's been bumpy, but he's winning. I'm not shocked where he is. At this point, we're not a Super Bowl team. We probably win the division, but this isn't a 13-win team with Jalen inconsistency and Nick's game decisions. True, and thank you very much for that super chat. Silz, do you think the loss to the Falcons helped Vic? Yes, I do. I think that Falcons loss gave them a lot of insight on who they are and who they're not. And by the way, something Xander said to me about the differences between 23 and 2024. Are they going to have the same mistakes and non-answers to what they didn't have a year ago? No. That's why you're not going to see long losing streaks this year. You're not going to see that. You know why? Look at what Vic Fangio did from the Atlanta game to the Saints game. It's night and day. That's coaching. There were no different personnel decisions. Putting Brandon Graham in there was was an important thing. You imagine if you're Bryce Huff now, you're a $51 million backup again, and you're back in the same role you were in New York. Situational pass rushing. 51 million bucks. He's now on the second team and a situational pass rusher. But watch this. Hey, Silz, what about Zach Bond covering that? Yeah. And the Devin White. Yeah. How's Gardner Johnson playing? Good. Good. Not great. Good. High good. I'm okay. I'm okay. Quinyon Mitchell is playing as good as you can hope. Any rookie playing the second hardest position in pro football, the corner. He looks like the dude. Okay? He looks like the dude. Okay? I mean, he looks like the dude. I'm sad how he is going to let Milton Williams walk. Milton Williams earning him some money. He had a money game. He had a money game. Okay? Thank you, Wicked. If Sirianni gets the boot and we sign Belichick, do Moore and Fangio go too? No, because you know what I would say, Wicked? Depending on how the team finishes this year, the organization is not going to allow a coach to walk out the building because why? Cliff Kingsbury wanted to become the offensive coordinator of the Eagles. Cliff Kingsbury wanted a new offensive line coach. That wasn't going to happen in Philadelphia as long as Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie owned the team and he's the GM. So Cliff Kingsbury couldn't bring his own people at certain positions. So I do not believe that. That would be a conversation. And I believe that a guy like Belichick would respect Moore and Fangio. Thoughts on Dean and Blankenship? I think Dean's playing okay. He gets turned around a lot in pass coverage. I think he's playing better against the run. The more reps he gets, the better he's looking. Okay? He's gone from being total dog shit in my world to where you're doing this. You see something here. Is he great? No. Is he good? Okay. Yeah. All right. It's not, am I signing him? No. I'll get someone else better. But I drafted him. Am I going to coach him? Yes. Am I going to see if I can get something out of this by the end of the year and he can elevate his game? Yes. Would I turn on? No. No. But I think he's a C student who was drafted to be a B+ student. That's how I see Nakobe Dean right now. He's a C student. That's better than any place he's been in his NFL career so far. Because he's been a D student, in my opinion. Now he's a C student, which means he's getting better. You can't quit on that. You got to keep giving him reps. Keep giving him reps. Okay? Carter and Davis played well. So does that help Dean? Absolutely. The line, there's no coincidence that the two defensive tackles played great, that the linebacking core played great. There's no coincidence to that. When the two defensive tackles up front get killed, the linebackers get killed. That's what happened in the Atlanta game. Although Olave made the catch, Bond was right there in the coverage. On a top receiver speaks to his versatility you mentioned earlier. Absolutely. The thing that you love about Zach Bond, you could play him in a 52. You could play him in a 61. You could play him in a 43, 34. I think that's exactly what Vic is falling in love with this thing here, is that you're looking at how this guy, without a doubt, can play in all multiple fronts. Now, let me ask you this question. Do you listen to Vic techniques and performed A+ stunts? Thank you, Abe. Absolutely. Thank you, Abe. Appreciate that. You guys are great on the Super Chats. By the way, where are we on the like list right now? You guys have been insane here. I have one question to ask. How much of Nick Sirianni's decision-making is being forced to him from upstairs? Hey, Prince, let me ask you, Prince. Let me at 237? Xander, is that right? We're at 237? Great. You guys are killing it today, and I can't thank you enough. Prince, here's what Prince says. I've watched enough games to see that Nick and upper management are holding the team back. Isaiah Devin played all the snaps during the offseason to be missing in person. F you, Silz. Hey, Prince, let me ask you this, though, brother. How much of those decision-makings in-game do you think that Nick Sirianni is being directed by upper management to make those decisions, and that's why he doesn't get criticized by the team? Folks, how many people in here believe that Nick is taking his direction from Howie Roseman and from Jeffrey Lurie on the style of play? And you have a precedent. You guys told me you won a game against Atlanta, and it was a game just like this, an 18-15 kind of game. And Doug Peterson had to go and explain himself why he won a game like that. Okay? How many people believe, Prince, do you believe that? Hunter, they love their puppy. Prince, I missed it if you said it. Do you believe, Prince, that he's getting direction from Julian Lurie, from Howie, and from the owner? Silz, all jokes aside, you could see it. The game plan doesn't change during the game. I think Prince is dead on. No, Nick is just a buffoon, area high school coach. Okay. So I think the missing piece on defense is an edge rusher. It is. It's called Brian Burns, but they didn't want to pay it. What do you think the real story is with D. White? I think he blew a gasket when they told him he wasn't starting, and he started moping, and they weren't going to have it. Silz, have you seen my LB missing Parsons? Yeah, that guy. How about this? Tank. He's over there screaming at his teammates, and he's over there screaming at his guys, and he's getting fucking run over by Derrick Henry. It's getting run over. Guys, hit that like button. You're murdering it. What a day. What a day for our show here with you. This is why I'm going to hang over here with you. We're not taking a break. You guys are crazy great. Mac, let's go over to you here. Who's making the choices to go for it on fourth down? I think he goes off that analytics page, Mac. Okay? Mac, I think he goes off the analytics page that the front office gives him, and that's why he makes those idiotic bonehead decisions. Hey, Mac, think of this for a second. Prince, how many times have we said this? That just doesn't look like a professional play caller. How are you making that decision? Every single decision that he has made in the last 3 weeks have been wrong. He hasn't coached those decisions like a we. Who's we? Hey, Nick, how about I thought that was the right call? You know, I get all the intel, and I'm like, what are you talking about? So as I asked John this morning how much of the game plan is based on analytics, Smitty's playing AJ's role. Why? By the way, John shut it down. Hey, Prince, I agree with you. I think John McMullen defending Nick Sirianni is not a good look. There's no defending that. And you know what you can say? Just like with Jalen's play, Jalen's turnovers get hid by the wins. That's what's happened here. People don't want to criticize Jalen Hurts. The wins will stop once the turnovers continue. They'll stop, just like they did a year ago. Guys, it's inevitable. Even your head coach, who's a buffoon, says this is not sustainable. He knows it. The entire organization knows it. You know, they probably feel good they went on the road and won down there at that place, but they probably come out of this going, this is not sustainable. It's not. The head coach said that. Here's Arthur again. Arthur's the same guy that was posting 10-1 last year. You're right, Arthur. You're the same team as a year ago. You're right. You're right. Hey, by the way, just for the record here, okay? Just because John McMullen and I don't agree, that don't mean I'm right. Okay? I mean, that doesn't mean I'm right here. Just a difference of opinion here. Okay? Nobody says that I have the truth serum here. I just know when I see a guy making fucked up decisions in game, it's not hard. I don't have to be a rocket scientist. Just like Prince. It's not hard to see something when you know that you need to take, especially, listen to this. So you get into a football game, you're on the road. You're on the road. You lose half your O-line. You lose your other star receiver. And Nick's making these kind of quirky decisions and being aggressive like this. What's the metric that you're going on? Is this a you thing? Or do you have an understanding and a feel for your team? You don't even have an understanding for the position on the field and field position sometimes when you make some of these bonehead calls. That guy doesn't make situational applied analytics. He just takes the analytics and runs with it, and he thinks that gives him a free hall pass to be aggressive. Those analytics are there like as a Christmas ball on a Christmas tree. They're not there to guide you. They're there to help you. And I think he takes that way over the board. And I think it's clearly clouded the judgment of the team in the direction. By the way, once again, what the hell is he doing vetoing Kellen Moore's play calling down in a critical situation? He says, I wasn't going to lie. I was also criticizing Jalen. However, I saw him stay in the pocket, realize what he was doing, and start finding people. I can't shit on that. No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Hey, Prince, I said that guy would have a bumpy start, and he has. I'm not saying with more reps, he can't get better. That this was going to be a process. He's got a lot of shit on his plate. I'm not saying that. But right now, he's not playing championship football. Most important, though, found a way to win. Dude, there's no metric or no analytics that can do anything but to say that they're 2-1 and some of the decision-making in the game that hurts, but Hurts put him in poor positions at times. And if someone will go, well, Mahomes hasn't really played great. Mahomes has a track record of winning championships, multiple. My comfort level with Mahomes is different than it is with Hurts. If Patrick Mahomes throws 5 picks in a game, my comfort zone is going to be not changed with him. Jalen Hurts throws 5 picks in a game, I'm going to have a problem with that. Because he has not shown he can be a consistent ball player yet. He hasn't been a consistent ball player in 23 games. That's a fact. Or 20 games. That's where I'm at, Prince. Silz, a bit off topic of football. Is Otani the greatest baseball player you've ever seen? Yes. It's not close. I've never seen anything like it. And he's in a rehab year. Okay? Next year he's pitching again. He's fucking better than Babe Ruth. They should be promoting him. Major League Baseball doesn't because he's a foreign player. That guy's the greatest baseball player I've never seen anything like him. I'm a huge baseball. I've never seen anything like that. He's the best athlete ever to play. He's the best baseball player that's ever lived. 15 wins, 60 home runs, 10 RBIs. There's nothing this guy can't do. You know who he is? He's Roy Hobbs. Shohei Otani's Roy Hobbs. I mean, that's the real life Roy Hobbs. Unbelievable. Never seen anything like it. I think it's great for the sport too. A Japanese player broadens the specter of baseball that anybody in the world. He's the best player in the world. There's nobody better. It's like he's like right picking. He's the natural. Silz, I agree with you. Not sure why he's being aggressive because he has an analytics page. In the first half, going for it on fourth down. Then in the second half, he decides to kick a 60-yard field goal on fourth down. It doesn't match up. Absolutely. It just doesn't match up. Take the points. Always take the points on the road. No matter where it is, take the points. You never know what an injury is going to mean. You never know what's trending in a game. Look at the ups and downs in that game. How many people looked when the Saints scored late? Everyone's like, holy shit. All of a sudden, there's Goddard streaking down the sideline, 61 yards, and you're like, holy shit. The Eagles are going to steal this from them, and they did. Wait, I'll take that back. The Eagles did not steal that game. The problem was this. The Eagles dominated that football game for 50 minutes. 50 minutes, they dominated that game. I would say 10, 12 minutes, 48 minutes maybe to 12, if you want to go there, that the Saints did anything that mattered. They completely dominated. I think Jalen Carter's taking control of the defense. His team is different from last year. Our only weakness so far is the head coach and Jalen's decision-making at times. Prince, the difference why you won't have a nuclear meltdown this year is that you don't have an inexperienced Desai and you don't have an inexperienced Brian Johnson. Those coaches are going to speak up. I mean, Nick Sirianni vetoing, Kellen Moore with decision-making down in the red zone. So Kellen gets you all the way down there. Then Nick parachutes in with a shitty call. Dude, sit down and know your place. Sit down and know your fucking place, guy. Guys, please hit the like button. Has the D turned a corner? Lori, we will see next week or this weekend against Tampa. Great commentary by our fellow Kane, Greg Olson. I sat next to him in Spanish class back in the day. He's a gentleman. Really great guy. Really great guy. Really great guy. I thought he was really great too as well. Yeah, the position coaches are more experienced this year. They're not going to allow that. Silz, Hurts is most likely going to take control of the offense and not listen to the head coach situational decisions making because Hurts will have more rhythm during the next few games. Yeah. Yeah, I believe that. I believe that. Has he gotten better since week one? No. But he's getting more reps handling and juggling everything. He's got every dish on the table. Check it out. Pass protection, route running, audibles, progression reading, motion. He didn't have all this last year. That's a lot for a guy that wasn't trained for that. That's why I said it'd be bumpy. You're 2-1. By the way, you lose to Tampa, you're 2-2. I said you'd be 500, actually, really, going in to the bye week. Because I had, 9 wins? I upped it from 7. Okay? Let's see here. And by the way, this thing here with Zach Bond, hey, right? Prince, help me out here on this. Hey, dude, if you told me he played one shitty game and then you turned around and you're telling me he played like that in the first 3 weeks, hey, my grade for Zach Bond, we'll do that on Thursday again, as we always do. Zach Bond gets a B+ for his play so far. He gets a B+. That guy's playing great football, man. Okay? Hey, James brings this up. Where's James? Look at y'all's shit game yesterday. Was. No one will remember it was a shit game come 3 weeks from now. They'll just remember it was a win. Okay? It's a great take by Prince. Galen's real test comes Sunday. Todd Bowles is his stepdaddy. Blitzed the shit out of him in that playoff game and made life miserable for him. Will he be ready for that? Because Tampa lost that game. Did Tampa get destroyed? Tampa got beat up in that game, didn't they? Tampa got beat up, right? Who beat Tampa up? Denver did. They went into Raymond James and beat them up. Okay? They went into Tampa. And Denver put the shellacking on them. So, yeah, I mean, that's going to be a test, to say the least. By the way, we have over almost 1,300 people on all our platforms. Please hit the like button, guys. Keep killing it. You guys are great. Thank you so much for the super chats. I can't thank you enough, man. We're killing it today. Just really great stuff. I love your takeaways here. Silz, do you agree with John McMullen's logic with the whole, if you would have been successful on those plays, we wouldn't think they were bad calls? I don't. Just because you design a play doesn't mean it'll be successful. That's what his notion is. You understand that? John McMullen's theory is, well, because I draw a play up, it's up to the player to be successful to it. Well, players are human too. It's a reason why every play doesn't work, because players are human. What you try to do is play the law of averages. Just because you draw a fucking play up doesn't mean it's a good play or it will be a successful play. Well, it's up to the player to make no shit. But I'm going to try to diminish the law of failure. Do you understand what I mean? If you're going to really use applied analytics, shouldn't you be applying plays that have a higher degree of success than a lesser degree of success? That's right. Yale goes, it's in the decision-making of the play that you're calling. Okay, get this. If you've got a 75%, John's opinion is this, a chance that has 75% chance of failure because it's a good design play versus a play that has a 25% chance of success, John thinks those are the same. He'll tell you, that's not what I think. Yes, it is. You can't have both things, John. You got to pick one. Are you going to run the play that gives you 75% more of an opportunity to succeed on the road? Half your O-line out. Your offense hasn't been scoring a lot. You don't have both your top wideouts. What play gives? Are you really going to design a play for A.J. Brown or for Devontae Smith that's not a skill set play for Devontae, then turn around and say we need a bigger body guy to make that play? Just because you designed the play doesn't mean it's successful with the personnel you had in there. That doesn't make sense. How does that make sense? Seriously. John McMullen's mentality is, if I draw a play up and it has 75% chance of success, and you draw a play up that's almost the same thing, but it has a 25% chance of failure, he thinks they're the same. It's up to the player to make the play. Well, no. It's up to the play caller. Have a feel for the game, where you are on the field, who's playing the best ball, who has been hot, who's been not. I'm not going to Jahan Dotson because the analytics say I'm going to the hot hand, Dallas Goedert. John said it on the postgame show. That play wasn't designed for Devontae Smith. Then why'd you fucking throw it there? Why didn't you audible out of it? That doesn't make sense. You can't have both there. Well, if I draw an out route and I got an out route versus the personnel like Patrick Surtain, whatever, versus the third team corner, what do I have a better success rate at? Challenging Surtain or challenging the third team corner? He's got to catch it. No shit. You're also taking the element of failure out as a play caller. Okay? Devontae rounded that route at the top. Still a tough throw, but Smith didn't give himself a shot at the ball. Yeah, then they turn around and say, that's my mistake. And that should have been a bigger bodied guy at the back of the end zone. That's not an excuse. That's not an excuse. Okay, that's not. The ball got there fast with Hurts' throw to Smith. Holy cow. He threw a pick. Stop it. You don't dissect it. He threw a pick. I thought process into situational play calling goes way beyond whether the play was successful. The dealer shows 4 and you hit 16. It's a good call, right? Even if you luck into, right, that's exactly right. Weren't the Eagle fans laughing at Dak for his INTs? How about this stat? 304. Hurts has been the most turnover quarterback since Shane Steichen left in the National Football League. He's turned the ball over more than any quarterback. Winning clouds the failure. No question. Okay? No question. Since Shane Steichen left, he has 26 touchdowns and 19 picks. I mean, I don't know. You think that's elite? Hurts should have thrown that ball. I am tired of using excuses. Shouldn't have thrown the ball. Tired of using excuses for Hurts. The turnovers need to stop, period. No excuses. Deal. Yes. Again, one more time here. You're 2-1. Let's have a come to Jesus conversation on that. Guys, please hit the like button. It's important in this, man. Not to lose sight of where you are. Okay? Really, listen. I'm here for us to do this. Should you be happy? Yeah. Are you concerned that this here has to be your biggest concern? This has got to be a consistent effort every week. Okay? Stop turning the ball over. Play great run defense. Play with that sense of energy on defense. And you have to correct that head coach. Man, is he terrible. That situational decision-making in critical moments. There's just no getting around it. Anybody in Philadelphia defending that guy, it doesn't make sense, and there's more to whatever. I don't see it. I just don't see where you think he's helping the cause and helping you win a Super Bowl. How about this? You want to hear something crazy? What's Nick Sirianni's win percentage? Somebody posted what Nick Sirianni's win percentage is. Post it. Then I'm going to ask you a question. Okay? What's his win percentage? Regular season. I want the highest number you can post. We only do milk cartons for people that he's 38-16. What does that come out to as a percentage? He's 38-16. It's insane great. Okay. Nick Sirianni's 38-16. He's 667. Thank you, Kyle. You know, John Madden, I think, has the highest at 741. Nick Sirianni has one of the highest win percentages in pro football history as a head football coach. Yale says 700. Now, I'll ask you the most important question. You ready? You think Nick Sirianni's a Super Bowl coach? A Super Bowl winning coach? You think he's a Super Bowl winning coach? Good show, Silz. What did you see from the secondary? I thought they played outstanding. It's easy to see the D-line work, but the back end was great. I agree. I completely agree with you. Xander, I missed the super chat. If you could post that up. Guys, you're killing it on the super chats today. Should have put Johnny Wilson in there and give him a chance for a jump ball like Megatron used to get it. Sirianni, 4D chess master. I'm not sure what that means. I don't play chess. And Reyes says he's a great coach. I'm assuming that's what that means. So he's got one of the greatest win percentages of all time, and none of you in here think he's a Super Bowl winning coach. Yo goes, if they win, I'm good. Okay. And even you guys see it. It's not that hard. I said Super Bowl winning coach, Arthur. It's because of Hurt Silz. Nick doesn't have the win percentage the players do. Coach gets credit for that. Everyone knows where the ball is going after Sirianni makes a call. Here's a great question. This is where Xander and John are clouded by the wins. But they're not wrong. I'll explain. Silz, do you think Jalen played better without AJ and Smitty because he was forced to spread the ball and let players like Goddard and Saquon be special? Yes. That's called seeing the field. Last year, he didn't see it at all. And he doesn't see it for 4 quarters. He just doesn't. But in the fourth, especially after Smitty. Here, let me ask you this. You think Jalen Hurts was a better quarterback when Smitty went off the field? In the passing game. How many people believe Jalen got better when Smitty went off the field? He did. He had to spread it around. He had to make shit happen in the passing game. Goddard became more of a factor. Barkley running the ball. Hurts taking off. He was better without a primary target. And he was not as predictable. I said to the person I was watching the game with, you watch him start to play better in the passing game with no Devontae on the field. I'm not saying that you can't have Devontae and AJ. Nobody in their right mind would not want those two on the football field. I'm just saying Hurts is going to be forced to make plays in the passing game. He got better. Why? He had to count on dudes like Dotson, Paris Campbell. He had to count on Goddard having a career game. Barkley. The O-line, new faces in the O-line. Needs to string some of those together. Take turnovers out. It'll come. More reps. More reps. The question is going to be for Jalen Hurts this. Will it be in time by the end of the year where the turnovers stop, the decision-making is in sync with everything else, and everyone's healthy? And Kellen is left alone. Nick's got to get out of the way. He's in the way. Nick Sirianni's been in the way the first 3 weeks. There's no getting around it. He's been in the way. I said that relationship between Kellen and him would be something to keep an eye on. He's in the way. I don't want to hear Nick Sirianni coming to the podium going, I overruled Kellen's call down in the red zone, and I called that stretch play. Dude, Jesus criminy. You suck as a decision-making dude in game, and you're not a good play caller, especially with an RPO player. Have you not figured that out yet? So how much of Jalen's height play a role in him being able to see the safeties? And is this something and why he needs to roll out too fast behind the big old line? Bearded, I'll tell you flat out what I'd like to see him do. I'd like to see him drop back, do something that Drew Brees and Russell Wilson did. What it did was it helped you a little bit more when it came to seeing over the offensive line. You took a 9-step drop instead of a 7-step drop. And that had a chance sometimes to help you out a little bit more on being able to do that and being able to see downfield and read the progression tree. So that could be something too. But by the way, once again, I pointed out the rolling right. You know, he has more incompletions in sack. He has more incompletions in sacks than he does completions. Rolling right. It's a trend. People know when he rolls right, he's not successful. Roll him right. You don't think Todd Bowles knows that? All right. Oh. You know, I personally didn't watch Birds 365 because I didn't want to throw up all over myself with the Nick Sirianni love. And I got to tell you, I'm not on the same side with John in this. I don't know where Xander sits, but boy, I'll tell you, Nick, in my opinion, let me ask you this. Has Nick Sirianni helped or hurt your football team in the first 3 weeks? According to John, players got to make the play. Jalen needs to learn how to throw to a receiver that's open, not only throw to someone that's open if that makes sense. It does. I missed the super chat there, Xander, and I'll bring you up here right after that last one there. Any truth to the Saints spit on Smitty? I posted that. It was a really creepy play, and it was totally a Saints move. You know, Saints are a very dirty team, and I thought that hit on Devontae Smith was dirty. I thought it was a dirty hit. I thought they high-load him. All right. Boy, with all that being said, we're going to be back to being 14 wins. Here it is. Wait a minute. The no-holes defense is back. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, the co-host of Birds 365, our friend, and also the pre- and post-game man, Big Z.
What up, Big Silz? Big Silz, ready? Sing it with me. Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. Let's go, Big Silz. That's a massive win. And by the way, you just brought it up. I didn't even think about it. I forgot I sent AAA down to the link last week, and they got the wagon for the no-holes defense all patched up and everything, and that thing traveled right down to New Orleans, baby, and had its best day on the market, baby. The no-holes defense, Big Silz, is back, baby.